Section 6.2.RA-2, according to an almanac, 75% of adult smokers started smoking before turning 18 years old. We want to compute the mean and standard deviation of the random variable x, that the number of smokers who started smoking before 18 based on a random sample of 400 adults. Okay, now recall that a binomial experiment with n independent trials and probability of success p has a mean and standard deviation given by the following formula. Okay, mu subscript x is equal to n times p, and sigma subscript x is equal to the square root of n times p times 1 minus p. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to determine what is n in our problem. Okay, well, n represents the amount of adults, so we know that there are 400 adults. And then we got to interpret what is the value of p, meaning the probability. Well, the probability is given as 75%, so we're going to convert that to a decimal to be 0.75. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to now calculate the mean. And so recall that the mean is going to equal n times p. So we know that n is equal to 400, and we're going to multiply that by 0.75. So when we multiply 400 times 0.75, we end up getting the value of 300. Okay. Next, now we want to be able to calculate the standard deviation. Okay, so what is the formula for the standard deviation? We know that the standard deviation is going to equal the square root of n times p times 1 minus p. So that's going to equal the square root of n, which is 400, times p, which is 0.75. And then we're going to multiply that by 1 minus 0.75. And so therefore, that's going to give us the square root of 75. And the square root of 75 rounded to one decimal place is 8.7. So therefore, there is the standard deviation. Okay, and now we're going to interpret the mean. Okay, to interpret the mean, recall that the mean is called the expected value. The mean of a binomial random variable can be interpreted as the expected number of successes in n trials of an experiment. Therefore, the correct interpretation of the mean is that in a random sample of 400 adult smokers, we expect that 300 will have started smoking before turning 18.